Welcome to Cynthia Untamed. This is your youthful and educational platform where we have conversations with and about children and young people in Africa. Thank you for being part of Cynthia Untamed. If you are new here, karibu sana. If you are a returning subscriber, I truly appreciate your presence. And do remember to tell a friend to tell a friend. As you can see, I am dressed as though I am going for a ceremony. I promise you I am not. But let me tell you what happened yesterday. As I filmed this happened yesterday on the 10th. But the 10th is Human Rights Day, if you did not know, 10th of December. Anyway, so I went to meet someone at the village market in Nairobi, in Gigiri. And then I decided to do some window shopping. And let me tell you, I saw all these beautiful things, clothes, art, notebooks, shoes, name them all, from designer to local brands to basically everything nice that is there to see, toys, swimming costumes. There was a lot to see. I don't know whether it's the Christmas season, but for some reason village market felt like there was so much life to eat this December. Or maybe because the country is also opening up after the whole pandemic situation. Well, we're not out of the pandemic, but the country is recovering somehow. Anyway, so I walked into a couple of stores and then I realized, oh wait, there's so many clothes with African fabric that you would consider as African, but the clothes are expensive. I was just like, one day I'm going to get money and then I'll come back and buy everything here. Anyway, so I walked into this stall. It's not actually a stall, it's one of the shops at village market, and I saw this skirt that just drew my attention. I wish I had taken a picture, but this was someone's shop. I wasn't allowed to do that. But there was this skirt with what we call kitenge fabric. If you know what I'm talking about, this kitenge fabric, the African Ankara print. But it had interesting lace on it, Victorian era lace. Victorian era basically means the time when Queen Victoria of England was reigning. Anyway, but have you seen this English European lace that's always all over clothes, and clothes just look so elegant, especially for women? If you are a lawyer, you've probably seen the lace on the bibs that advocates wear, or judges, most of the time judges. Significantly, the one I saw recently was Justice Fatuma Sichale or Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Anyway, I digress. So when I saw that skirt, I just went and I stared into it and I was like, I want it. First things first, it was too big, but they said they could make it a bit smaller. But then what was preventing me from getting it is that it was too expensive. I think they said it was 12,000 Kenya shillings. That's $120. Yeah, that's a lot of money that I couldn't just wake up and spend for there on a skirt. But I loved it. And you know, the interesting bit is what drew me to the skirt was the lace, the Victorian era lace. And the moment I saw it, I could see English tradition, European tradition. And then I came back home and I started wondering, as a Kenyan, if I saw a Kenyan in the United States of America, would I be able to easily tell that's a Kenyan? And that brought to me the whole conversation about the national dress. Now, surprisingly, when I was thinking about the national dress, and then I went to Google and I realized everybody's been talking about the national dress, just that I thought people have not been talking about it. Well, as of now, I don't know whether it's a priority in people's minds, but there was a time that the president of Kenya declared Friday a Made in Kenya attire day, something like that. So basically, public servants are required to wear Made in Kenya items on Friday. But then as I looked at the Made in Kenya clothes, I realized we don't really have a national dress. If I saw somebody wearing this elegant hats that I've seen, I would know they're definitely South African. If you see this, I don't know what they call them, but they're these attires that men from West Africa wear, especially Nigeria, Ghana. You'd definitely be able to tell that's somebody from West Africa. And then comes Kenya, and wait, what is the Kenyan attire? I do not know. And then of course there's a whole debate about it. There's a whole debate about whether we need a Kenyan attire. Is it a priority? Is it what people are thinking about? It could go all ways. First things first, as a young African, I know our priorities are not necessarily you wake up and you think about dressing up like a Kenyan, just so that you look like a Kenyan. But then I thought about the international conferences. I've been to a few international conferences, Pan-African Youth Forum in Ethiopia, Global Education Summit, and I always want people to identify me as a Kenyan. Now listen to this story. I went to the Kenya National Archives, which I wonder whether you guys have visited the National Archives. Have you guys visited the National Archives? And when I walked in, I started looking at the items that are there, and they had all this attire from different communities. Now, I have been struggling to find an attire from the traditional Luya community. I asked around and they told me people wear sisal skirts, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to wear a sisal skirt and walk in the streets of Nairobi. That doesn't even make sense. Like, you wear a sisal skirt and then what you wear inside. I think there needs to be a whole evolution. But anyway, there are all these attires from different communities. And then I realized coming up with a national attire is not as easy as it sounds, because a lot of people would say that the national attire is a Maasai outfit. But what about the other 40-something tribes of Kenya? What about the other 40-something communities? They also have their own attire. Samburus have, the coastal people have, the Rendile have their own, and name all the communities. And how do you bring all those fabrics into one space and say, this is the Kenyan attire? Really, I do not know. But according to my research, apparently there's been efforts to have a traditional attire for Kenya national dress. Apparently the debate has been there since 2004. I had no idea. I thought the debate started in my head the other day. But for me, truly, my conclusion was that I think when I go to an international conference, I want to wear something that identifies me as Kenyan, because I am proud to be Kenyan and I'm proud to be an African. I am proud to be a girl from Kenya. I mean, we say Daima mimi ni Mkenya, najivunia kwa Mkenya, and then there are all these beautiful songs by Eric Wainaina, Daima mimi Mkenya. Anyway, music is not my gifting. But yes, what do you think? And for you as a Kenyan, do you sit down and ask yourself, what is the Kenyan national attire? Or is it just a conversation that a few people have? And then of course I went to watch a couple of interviews where people were having this discussion, and there's this guy who said we should adopt the Maasai outfit, like what I'm wearing. It's not the full Maasai outfit, partially Maasai. And he was saying because a lot of people already know how it looks like, it would make sense. But then, like I mentioned, there are many communities in Kenya, but the Maasai's outfit has been the most present. It's what people like me who cannot find our traditional outfits generally gravitate towards when it comes to wearing a national dress. Then there's this lady, she's called Akinyo Dongo, and she was saying, okay, why don't we get Kenyan influencers or leaders to actually embrace the national attire, so that we see a lot more members of parliament wearing traditional attires to the Senate, or to the parliament in general. And the more we see our leaders, the more people will want to do what they're doing, because generally people would imitate what their leaders are doing. And then there's also the young influencers, because there's then the young people like me who would mostly influence us to dress or to embrace a national dress. It would be the people we follow on Instagram. It would be the people we follow on TikTok. I mean, if I saw, who would I see? I can't think of an influencer right now, but if I saw an influencer that I probably like their style, I'd gravitate towards wearing what they're wearing. But anyway, the conversation, of course, cannot be just about other people. It's also about the rest of us. And so I just wanted to show you my collection over here that's on display, of the things I have been collecting over time, that in terms of attire, that remind me of my Africanness, that remind me I am a girl from Africa. Because there's so many ways of reminding yourself that you are from Africa. That includes language. Well, for me, I just cannot speak my traditional language, but so I tend to gravitate towards clothes, because clothes will enable me to identify as a person from Africa. And so these are my collections I'm going to show you, and I hope that you enjoy, and I'd like to see what you've been collecting from across the continent that just remind you of your uniqueness as a child of Africa. So let's head on to those clips, and I'm going to see you in the next episode.